What if I told you that your team at work has a personality? People, you, I, we have personalities, and teams also have personalities. Usually it's a more or less weird mix of the individuals in the team. In today's video, we will use the DiSC Psychometric tool as a guide to discover your team's personality. And I'll give you some powerful exercises that you can do to build trust, improve decision-making, and optimize the roles in your team based on DiSC. It's time to shine some light on your teammates. Hey, my name is Greg from Renew. I'm a master coach. I help people, teams, and organizations to know themselves, design their future self, and become their future selves. Renew and I are here to help you live a life where you have control. Imagine this. Your team is working hard on an important project. Everyone's bringing something unique to the table, but there is tension brewing just beneath the surface. One member seems overly direct, pushing for fast decisions, while another one is more cautious, preferring a steady pace and a thorough review. Misunderstandings start to creep in. Has that ever happened to you? People are different, and sometimes it's difficult to understand why they are not just like us. I mean, who wouldn't want to be, right? Hence using psychometric tools to help understand why people behave the way they do and to make people work better together. What exactly makes psychometric tools valuable for teams? At their core, tools like these provide a framework for understanding the different ways people approach work, communicate, and make decisions. This isn't about labeling or boxing people in. It's about revealing tendencies and preferences. When each team member's style is recognized and appreciated, collaboration becomes smoother, conflict is easier to manage, and everyone feels valued for who they are. DiSC is particularly powerful because it is simple and actionable. It is broken down into 4 types: dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. Each type has its own approach to challenges, communication, and interaction with others. In a team setting, knowing these tendencies can be like finding a roadmap to working together effectively. Think of your team as an orchestra. Each person is like a different instrument, each with its own unique sound. DiSC is a tool that helps the conductor, in this case the team leader, or even the team itself, to bring out the best in each instrument. Psychometric tools also help build trust. When teammates feel understood and accepted for who they are, they're more likely to engage openly, share ideas, and take risks. Trust is a foundation for any high-performing team, and this gives you the tools to start building that foundation. Much more about trust in teams right here. Here is a question to reflect on. What assumptions might you hold about your teammates' behaviors that a tool like DiSC could help you challenge? Sometimes we think we know why someone acts a certain way, but often it's just our own assumptions at play. Conflicts usually arise when communication styles clash or when we interpret each other's behaviors through our own preferences. This can help us step outside of that and see things from another person's perspective. By understanding each team member's DiSC type, we get insight into why they might approach situations the way they do. For example, let's look at how each DiSC type might handle a conflict. Someone with a dominant or D style may want to address issues quickly, directly, and move on. They're action-oriented and prefer efficiency over drawn-out discussions. But then we have someone with a steadiness or S style who values harmony and might need more time to process before engaging in a confrontation. This type is more likely to feel uncomfortable with immediate direct conflict. Now, without this, it's easy for these two to misunderstand each other. The dominant type might see the steadiness type as hesitant or indecisive, while the steadiness type might see the dominant type as pushy or even intimidating. But with this, each person understands that these are natural preferences, not weaknesses. Here is where this becomes a bridge. When a team member knows another's profile, they are more likely to approach conflict with empathy and patience. Instead of rushing or withdrawing, they can adjust their approach. For example, a dominant team member might slow down and ask questions, while a steadiness member might prepare themselves for a more direct conversation. Here is a simple playbook for using DiSC in conflict resolution. First, remember that conflict often stems from misunderstandings of intent. Step 1. Revisit your teammates' DiSC profile to understand their likely perspective. Look at the other person's DiSC style to understand their perspective. Ask yourself, am I interpreting their behaviors through my own lens? Then adapt your communication style to meet them halfway. Finally, encourage an open discussion by acknowledging their needs, like saying, I know you like a thorough approach, so let's take a bit of time here. A quick tip. Invite your team to check in with each other's DiSC profile during tense moments. Even a quick glance can remind you of how to best communicate and avoid escalating things. An exercise I recommend is a role play called Walk a Mile in My Profile. Pair team members with opposing profiles like dominance and steadiness or influence and conscientiousness, and have them role-play a conflict from each other's perspective. It's a fantastic way to build empathy and see how different approaches feel in action. And here is a reflective question for you to consider. How could understanding your teammates' DiSC profile change your approach during disagreements? The magic here is that this doesn't just resolve conflicts. It prevents them by building a team culture based on empathy and understanding. When we take the time to recognize each other's natural tendencies, we're saying, I see you, I respect you, and I'm willing to meet you where you are. And that builds trust. You like this video so far? Then you know what to do. Also subscribe and put on the notifications if you want to receive content like this every week. And for much more about working in a team in a powerful way and DiSC, you can check out the videos in the description below. Decision-making in a team can be a challenge. Different perspectives, unique working styles, and even personal preferences can lead to slower progress and at times frustration. These profiles can give us a roadmap for better decision-making. Think of each DiSC type as having a superpower when it comes to different aspects of making decisions. Let's break it down by types to see how each can contribute. First up, we have the dominant D type. People with a D profile are often action-oriented and decisive. They're fantastic at setting the pace, making quick calls, and keeping the team moving forward. They're the ones who will push for that bold decision and won't be afraid to take risks to get results. However, Ds can sometimes, and many times, overlook details or rush the team, so pairing them with someone who has a more detail-focused profile can keep the team balanced. Next, the influential type or I type. These team members are full of enthusiasm and creativity. They're fantastic at brainstorming ideas, engaging the group, and generating buy-in. They're often the ones who bring a burst of energy to the process, which helps keep spirits high and ensures that the whole team feels involved. There is one thing to watch. I-types might prioritize excitement over practicalities, so it's helpful to have a more detail-focused team member there to ground the conversation. Then we have the steadiness or S-type. S-types bring a thoughtful, patient approach to the decision-making process. They focus on stability, collaboration, and ensuring that everyone's perspectives are considered. These team members are fantastic at weighing potential impacts on people and long-term outcomes. They're the ones who will help the team avoid hasty decisions that could create issues down the line. However, S-types might need encouragement to speak up quickly in a fast-paced discussion, so it's good to create space for their input. Finally is a conscientious or C-type. C-types are detail-oriented, analytical, and precise. They're invaluable in decision-making because they spot the details others might miss. They're great at ensuring decisions are well-researched, fact-checked, and thoroughly thought out. However, because there is a however, they might take longer to reach a conclusion. So they work best when paired with the D-type, who can help them make final calls once the analysis is done. Now, here is where the magic happens. By understanding these strengths, you can assign roles in the decision-making process that match each team member's natural tendencies. Imagine this. Your D-type sets the goal, your I-type brainstorms possibilities, your S-type evaluates the impact on the team, and your C-type ensures it's backed up with solid data. That's a team making well-rounded, balanced decisions. Here is a simple framework for using DiSC in decision-making. First step is to initiate the goal. Set a clear, actionable objective with the D-type leading the charge. Then generate ideas. Bring in the I-type for brainstorming and getting the team excited about possibilities. Then evaluate impacts. The S-type consider how each decision will affect team morale and long-term goals. Finally, analyze details. Have the C-type ensure that decision is fact-checked and risks are fully assessed. Here is a question to reflect on. How might your team's decision-making process change if each member's strengths were fully utilized at the right stage? This reflection can help you think strategically about involving everyone in the ways that benefit the team the most. When we leverage these for decision making, we don't just make decisions. We make better, more balanced ones. And much more about decision making in this video right here. Every team has its unique blend of strengths. But what if each role in your team aligns perfectly with each person's natural tendencies? That's where DiSC comes in. Starting with the D type. These team members are natural leaders in the sense of setting a direction and pushing for results. They thrive in roles where they can take charge, make quick decisions, and set a clear direction for the team. These are great at driving strategy, handling high-stakes situations, and pushing the team to achieve ambitious goals. They're also effective in fast-paced roles where quick thinking and action are key. Then we have the influential I type. These team members excel in roles that involve creativity, engagement, and connecting with people. They're often the ones who bring fresh ideas to the table and keep moral high. I types are fantastic in roles like marketing, community engagement, or any position where relationship building is key. Then we have steadiness, S types. S types shine in supportive, collaborative roles where stability and consistency are valued. These team members are often the glue that holds everything together. They're fantastic at managing processes, ensuring smooth operations, and keeping team morale balanced. And they tend to care for people. Finally, we have the conscientious C type. C types excel in roles that require precision, analysis, and attention to detail. These team members are fantastic in analytical positions, quality control, finance, or any role where accuracy is key. They bring a methodical approach that ensures the team's work is thorough and high quality. Now here's a practical exercise to try with your team. It's called the strengths map. Have each team member list their primary strengths and current responsibilities. Then map out where these roles could be better aligned with each person's profile. For example, if you have a conscientious team member who is working in a fast-paced, decision-heavy role, considering shifting their focus to quality control or data analysis, where their attention to detail would be an asset. Likewise, if you have a dominant team member in a highly procedural role, look for opportunities where they can lead initiative or drive big-picture strategies. And here is a reflective question for you and your team. How might aligning tasks with each member's natural strengths impact your team's productivity and job satisfaction? When you play to each person's strengths, you'll notice a difference. Team members are more engaged, motivated, and even happier because they're doing the work that aligns with who they naturally are. I'll be walking you through 3 key exercises today: profile mapping, pair sharing, and reflection and journaling. These exercises will help each team member not only understand their own DiSC profile, but also appreciate the unique qualities of their teammates. The first exercise is called profile mapping, and it's a great way to visualize your team's makeup. Here's how it works. Create a large DiSC chart on a whiteboard, wall, or digital platform. Then have each team member place a marker or write their name in the section that represents their primary DiSC type. This simple exercise does wonders. It helps team members see at a glance the diversity of strengths within the group. You might notice clusters of certain types, or perhaps you're balanced across all 4. Either way, profile mapping reveals patterns that are helpful for planning and collaboration. Once everyone's added their marker, take a few minutes to discuss what this map shows. Does the team have a lot of D types who are quick decision makers? Or maybe you're heavy on S types who value stability and team harmony? Recognizing these patterns can shape how you approach projects and support each other. The second exercise, pair sharing, is all about deepening empathy and understanding. In this activity, pair team members with contrasting DiSC profiles. For example, if you have a dominant D type, pairs them with someone who has a steadiness profile. I type with conscientious type. In their pairs, team members should take turns answering a few key questions, like, how does your DiSC profile influence your approach to work? What's one misconception people might have about your style? Encourage each person to really listen and ask follow-up questions to understand their partner's point of view. This exercise isn't just about talking, it's about listening. When we take the time to hear directly from our teammates, we build empathy and learn to appreciate the strengths they bring to the table. Plus, it opens up the space for each person to express how they prefer to work and what they might need from the team. The third exercise is reflection and journaling. This one is done individually, but can have a big impact on the whole team. Have each team member take 10 to 15 minutes to reflect on a few prompts related to their DiSC profile. Here are some prompts to get started. How does my DiSC profile help me contribute to the team? What challenges do I face because of my DiSC tendencies? How can I better support my teammates given their profiles? This exercise is about self-awareness. When team members take time to reflect on their strengths and potential challenges, they bring a more mindful approach to the team. After journaling, encourage everyone to share 1 or 2 insights that they are comfortable sharing with the group. That's a powerful way to turn self-reflection into collective growth. When team members are willing to share their reflection, they create an environment of openness and vulnerability, which strengthens trust. Plus, it gives each person a chance to voice their intentions and how they'd like to grow and support the team. Here's a question to consider after any of those exercises. What new insight did I gain about myself and my teammates' work style that could improve our collaboration? Often, even a small insight can shift the way we relate to each other. Using DiSC can be transformative for teams, but like any tool, it comes with its own set of challenges. Misunderstandings, oversimplification, and rigid interpretations can lead to a number of pitfalls that limit the tool's effectiveness. First up is labeling. It's easy to start thinking of each DiSC type as a fixed identity, like saying, oh, they're a D type, so they must be bossy, or they're an S type, so they're always supportive. But people are far more complex than any single label can capture. The truth is we all have strengths and preferences that can show up differently depending on the context. DiSC is just a tool for understanding tendencies, not for boxing people in. A great way to avoid this trap is to think of DiSC as a guide, not a rule. Encourage your team to be flexible and open-minded, allowing people to step beyond their default styles when needed. The next pitfall is a close cousin to labeling, expecting people to act solely according to their profile. While this can highlight natural tendencies, it doesn't mean people are bound to act a certain way. Just because someone's a C type doesn't mean that they can't brainstorm. And just because someone's an I type doesn't mean they can't handle details. If you work on your DiSC profile, you will see that your profile has other areas that you're comfortable with, like for mine on the screen. The third pitfall is oversimplifying communication styles. It's tempting to think that knowing someone's DiSC type means you automatically know how to communicate with them. But communication is complex. The dominant type may want direct communication sometimes, but appreciate empathy in other situations. To truly improve communication, use DiSC as a starting point, but consider each person's preferences and the context. Think about tone, timing, and emotional cues, not just the DiSC best practices. Another common pitfall is relying too heavily on DiSC when assigning roles. While it's helpful to know someone's strengths, assigning roles solely by DiSC type can lead to frustration and even missed opportunities. For instance, a conscientious type might thrive in a creative role if they're passionate about it, and sticking people in boxes will limit how they can explore their DiSC profile. The final pitfall is treating DiSC as a one-time exercise. DiSC works best when it's part of an ongoing journey, not just a one-off assessment. Teams evolve, and so do individual preferences, strengths, and challenges. Regularly revisiting your DiSC insight can keep your team aligned and adaptable. Consider making DiSC as part of your regular routines, like monthly reflections or quarterly strategic sessions. This way, DiSC becomes a living tool that grows with your team. Here's a question to guide this mindset. How can we incorporate DiSC insight into our ongoing team practices? Keeping DiSC alive helps everyone stay engaged and aware of how they contribute to the team. DiSC is just one angle you can take about understanding your team's personality. Make sure to complement it with other tools like the Big Five, Hogan, the Maton Intelligent Leader Assessment. Each one will give you more wealth about who each individual is and how you can best work together. I'll leave you with a quote from Maya Angelou that captures the spirit of DiSC perfectly. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. If you're interested in more ways to improve team dynamics and to build your own powerful team offsite, then you might be interested in this video here.